Welcome to Masters of None. Coming up on tonight's show, we'll be discussing the best kit to get you started in videography. We'll be posing the question, what would we do differently if we were starting out now? And we'll be chatting about the ways to get your first paid gig. And of course, we'll be sharing our picks of the week. So welcome to episode 2, How to Make Money with Videography. It's all about the Benjamins this week. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. You all right?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I see you've not done anything about that intro. You've still kept it as Anton Deck-ish as it was last week.
Welcome to Anton Deck's Saturday Night Takeaway. However, it looks a lot better. Yeah.
Huh? What have you done? Tell the viewers what you. I mean, most people probably wouldn't notice, but Adam looks about 1,000% better this week than he did last week. Why is that, Adam?
Well, because we've got the Peloton, and we've been. I've been really put. No, I've not. I've swapped my webcam for the A7 III, courtesy of a certain friend who's not a million miles away. Good to see you. He chucked me up his old capture card, so I've chucked that in, and I have taken delivery just today. I honestly didn't think it was going to be here in time, but Murphac, the audio side of Moser, have chucked me their NP10.
MP10, yeah, MP10. That's the microphone, incidentally, that I'm using as well, which I love. I love this microphone.
You know what? And you know, your B-roll on your review. The review was good, but the B-roll is just stunning. So if you haven't seen it, check that over. Speaking, so that's what I've done. Thank you very much. And sort out the lights. But I think there's something more important than how pretty my setup looks that we need to address. And that is, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm excited. I don't know either.
No, you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are looking at right now
what he's saying is that Adam now has full control over the stream as well. And I'm regretting it already. Why have you swapped? Have you swapped this round, or are we?
We used to be that. We used to be that way, but then I moved. But yes, I can hear myself back. By the way,
not much we can do about that. Unfortunately, that's the quality of the stream that you have tuned into.
Welcome. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Watkins Media, 10,000 subscribers. Congratulations, mate. Absolutely made up for you. I was going to make a celebratory video, but I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, chuffed with that. And if Chris, if you're watching, I know you said you were going to watch, but you're probably lying. Thank you for helping me get there. Don't know whether he's watching or not. But.
Got you over that finish line. You would have got there, but he pushed you over that little bit quickly.
He pushed me over a bit quicker. And he actually did it a week ago today. So at the end of this show. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
Happy. 10,300 and something now, don't know. 300 a week.
Who's counting? You know
me.
I mean?
I've got a little counter that tells me.
Christopher, you know me and I. You and I have talked about you spending money on things you don't need.
I need that. It tells me how many YouTube subscribers I've got at a glance. And you know what? There's a funny little story that goes along with that.
Is it hilarious?
It's not. No, it's not funny really. But I bought that with the first money I ever made on YouTube.
Yes, nice.
My first YouTube paycheck actually, it was my first 2 YouTube paychecks. Bought me that, and I'd wanted one for bloody ages, but they're really expensive. And I thought, when I get monetized on YouTube, when I can afford it, I'm gonna get it because I want one. It's really good. Oh, we've had a comment. Steve Leopard.
Hello, Steve.
I see Chris is on the beers this week. Is it his turn or Adam's partaking too? Yeah. I mean, we were drinking last week as well. Who's Steve then?
Steve Leopard is the great. Stephen Leopard.
Steve.
Emma and I, my wife Emma and I, we are godparents to his his poor child. If seriously, if you're picking us as your godparents, that's really, really unfortunate. Clearly
Does
doesn't
not have many friends.
No, mustn't. But he's the greatest Michael Jackson impersonator you've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
Pop a link
by
in
his
your
own,
in the chat.
yeah. Steve, chuck something down. By his own admission, he's white. Can't get away from that. He's big. He sounds exactly like him, and he moves exactly like him. It's a force to behold. So yeah, welcome along, Steve.
Excellent. If there's anyone else in the comments, let us know. We do have 9 viewers at the minute. That's actually worse than last week. So yeah, never mind. I totted up all of our views from last week. We actually had over 500 people watch it.
Oh wow, that's
in
great.
total, yeah, which I thought was all right for us two babbling blokes talking about nonsense.
For those of you looking at on one platform, we're actually streaming across multiple platforms at the same time here, courtesy of our friends over at StreamYard, who are sponsoring this for the next few weeks. And we're actually streaming to both our YouTube channels and Facebook pages. Are you going to the group as well?
Yeah. So my Facebook group, if you haven't
it.
joined it already, it's Chris Watkins Media Group, and it's just where I post loads of behind the scenes stuff and me falling over and me breaking stuff. So it's quite entertaining. It's my favorite place to post in that group, to be honest, because I have good fun and I take the mick out of myself all the time. So if you're not a member, come over and join.
I have to say, I've watched that video far too many times since we talked about it last week, and I'm dying for you to fall each time, but sadly, you're caught.
Yeah, there's actually like 5 versions, and there's one where I do nearly fall over. My phone is going off, so I need to mute it. I'm very apologetic.
It's not very professional, is it?
It's not, is it? But again, get what you pay for. We've had a little comment from O'Neill and Jones. Hello, chaps. Oh, you've switched sides. We fear change.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Have we switched sides? We had this conversation a second ago. We were the other way around, and now we're this way round.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the reason, but it is for a reason. But hello, welcome.
I was like that last week, but now I'm like this. So we've swapped it. This is absolutely fascinating to people watching. Yeah.
Should we talk about why we're here? Because we've been live for 8 minutes and we haven't even got to that bit yet.
Wow. So for those of you who haven't seen last week, we are Masters of None. Chris is Chris Watkins Media. My name is Adam. I am Musing of a Man, and we both have YouTube channels that do like creator. I'd love to be able to do that and have
it'd be good, wouldn't it?
And we both do tech and gear reviews, mainly about videography, photography, and all that kind of stuff. So we just decided, rather than just doing beer zooms constantly over the last year, we'd just stream it and see if anyone else is interested in our babbling. Really?
Yeah. So. Yeah, don't expect to learn much, but you'll get some opinions. Not much else, really. Yeah.
Brilliant. Really sold it there. So first topic we're going for tonight is the best kit to get you started in videography.
Wait.
What?
We've got a little banner, haven't we? We've got to use the banner. I made that banner. I can't just jump into it without saying, Chris, get ready with the banner.
You get so whenever you get angry, you go proper West Country. I just want to point that out. We gotta get the banner.
We're gonna start talking about accents. This is gonna go downhill quickly. So
let's not.
Let's talk about the best kit to get you started with videography.
So I guess the most important thing, would be camera.
No, not camera.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Yeah, see you later. I think the most important thing, budget.
Very good.
Yeah. So what are we going to do? Are we going to do somebody who's inherited 50 grand and they want to go out and start their own production company? Or are we going to do somebody who's been saving up for ages to buy their first camera and wants to do it professionally?
What's more likely? What? I'd say what's more likely?
I mean, I'd go cheap. I would go the best budget kit to get you started in videography.
Bang for buck.
Bang for buck.
Okay, so we circle back round. Most important thing, camera?
No, it's budget. We've just covered that.
Brilliant. This is
Yeah. Okay. So camera. I've got an idea what I would tell everybody to buy.
okay.
What should we say? I think we should like kind of price it up. So I might even make a note. I haven't even got a pen. But
Sorry, I'll make notes.
yeah, so I would spot if you had 1,500 quid, 1,500 pounds that you've been really struggling to save up, but you've got that money. How would you spend that 1,500 quid?
Don't even think I'm aware of the price of cameras right now. What I would do is I'd probably go to eBay, because
Okay.
the one thing I learned after buying my first camera and lens is that even most pros go for the secondhand market,
Mhm.
because anything that's worth buying has been babied at least. You just don't want something that's been absolutely bashed up, preferably
Yeah,
not a
owned by me.
You or Casey Neistat, you both have you're very, yeah, you have that in common. But yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely probably go secondhand.
Yeah. Okay. So you would probably, if we're talking camera body now, you would go eBay is where you'd choose.
Probably, yeah.
You've got 1,500 quid. How much of that budget would you want to spend on a camera? Bearing in mind any other things you want to get.
I know, this is the thing. But the thing is, the more that you spend on the camera, less you possibly going to need with regards to lighting and stuff, because it might be better in low light. I'd look to spend probably between 450, 500 quid on the camera body.
Okay. I kind of agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking Sony crop then, aren't we?
Yeah, I would think so. I'm gonna load up eBay whilst I'm here.
Okay.
And just so we get an accurate price and we know how much money we've got to spend. So personally, I mean, I could share my screen. That would be. Would that be better?
That'd be a good thing to do, because in all honesty, that's the amazing thing that you can do with StreamYard. You can share screens, you can upload videos to play and everything. It's a really, really good platform.
So I assume it's this one. I'm sorry if it's not this one. There we go. eBay.
Nailed it.
So Sony A6300 is probably the camera that I would go for. It's the camera that has been in my kit bag for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. I'd probably buy it from the UK, so I wouldn't look at any of these United States ones.
Yeah, if it's got in italics and you haven't already said you want it from the UK, just stay away from italics.
How do I search by
bottom,
UK only?
On the bottom, location.
We want used, don't we?
Okay.
And we're gonna go
UK only.
UK only. There we go. Just so we get an accurate idea of price. So this one is £560. That's for the body only, 3 batteries. I think that is quite expensive. I bought one of mine for £500 probably 3 years ago, 2 or 3. Yeah, 3 years ago. So I think that's quite a lot of money. This one's not bad because it comes with a lens. So you get the kit lens with that for $560. So that person's trying to get $560 with no lens.
Yeah.
One
thing to bear in mind, I think one thing that's worth saying is that with regards to the Sony crop, you are going to need a multitude of batteries because they don't last forever.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to Google used A6300s because I've got a feeling. How do I find shopping on here? That's annoying. I've got a feeling if you shopped around, you could get one for under £500.
Well, Steve's actually kind of, I'm not too sure when this came up, but he's actually a bit ahead of us, and he's right. Would you get better options going for secondhand on somewhere like eBay or a factory refurb on eBay or Amazon? I think there are. I personally think there's something good to be said for refurb if you can get a good deal, because normally refurbs will come with some form of warranty. I think eBay have something built in to used warranty, but I think that would possibly be a little bit of a minefield. So yeah, good question, Steve. If you were looking for refurb, I'd definitely go for exactly where Chris is at, either Wex or maybe even MPB. MPB is a good site for used and refurb stuff.
Yeah, you'd really be surprised. Like Wex, you think are going to charge through the roof for whatever they've got. And I quite often find real bargains at Wex. And like local camera shops as well. The amount of times I've found exactly what I want for the lowest price anywhere around is in a local camera shop. So there's a great place by me called Castle Cameras in Salisbury. They do great deals. And also there's a place called Clifton Cameras, which is in a place called Dursley, which is quite near my parents' house. And the amount of times I've driven an hour and a half to Dursley to go and get a camera is insane. But it's just a really good shop for buying secondhand stuff.
Actually, thought there. I think me and you were talking about on one of our drunken Zooms. I got my D3200 from the high street. I actually got it from John Lewis because of the extended warranties and all that you could get. It was my first ever camera. But when I upgraded, I upgraded to the 70D, which I still have, and I I got it off eBay, and I drove all the way down from Liverpool to Portsmouth to pick it up.
Wow.
Literally, it was a guy in a Costa waiting to meet me, and we didn't know if it was a fix or anything. So I've got Emma outside. We're both on the phone, but he doesn't know I'm on the phone, and she's got a headphone in, and I was a proper. We were proper into spooks at the time. And,
Brilliant.
oh yeah, but yeah, I drove literally all the way down to Portsmouth just to pick up a camera. Because the thing is, for a decent deal, you will drive, though, won't you? You will.
Yeah. I actually drove to Liverpool. I don't live far from Portsmouth, and I drove to Liverpool to get my Sony FS5, which was a massive drive. But it was worth it because I got a stonky deal. I'm still browsing here as I'm talking, which makes me feel quite rude. We have had a comment from CTZN Girl.
Citizen Girl has actually commented on a number of my videos.
Stop pressing the comment button. I'll do it. There you go.
One thing I've learned from buying Sony mirrorless is that they retain their price from A5100 upwards, which is insane, but proves how good their cameras are. I would agree with that. I'd say probably Sony cameras are the Apple of the camera world, really, aren't they? As long as you treat them okay, which isn't exactly always easy, but as long as you treat them okay, they will retain their price.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn me off for that screen off for the minute, just because there's none on the website. But yeah, I mean, you did see there were lots of full frame. Actually, let's talk about that quickly. You did see that there were loads of full frame cameras here. So you've got the A7 for £549. The original one, you've got a used A7, which is in condition 8, which is not bad for £420 for a full frame camera.
Is that only 11,000 actuations as well?
Yep. So that's going to be a really good bargain, I would say. And the reason Adam said is it only 11,000 actuations is because traditionally a camera shutter has a life of about 100,000 actuations. So if you're buying a camera that's got 90,000, it's probably not got that much life left in it. But saying that, if you're using it for video, it doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah, because the shutter only opens once and then closes again when you stop recording. So that's only one. You could be recording for 10, 15 minutes. Whereas in that space of time, especially on high burst on the A7 III, oh God, you could be up in that time. You could actually be up to 11,000 actuations easy on a burst.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. But what I was saying about that, so you could buy a secondhand full frame body for less than a secondhand APS-C body.
But
well, that was going to be my question to you. Would you go down that route with your £400 or £500? You could save yourself £80 on the body, but would you?
No, for exactly the reason that you're trying to the road you're taking me down. The cost of the lenses is just astronomical in comparison. I've been thinking about it since we talked about this last week, and I don't think, given the time again, I don't think I would go with APS-C because I love my full frame on the A7 III. However, I at some point I want to get a second cam. I'm not going to throw another A7 III there, even if.
Wait, did you say you said you weren't going to go APS-C just then? Did you mean you would go APS-C?
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go
You
APS-C.
wouldn't go APS-C.
No, if I had my time again, I wouldn't, because
Okay.
I love my camera. But
this is exactly how our drunken Zooms go, by the way. This isn't us putting anything on. This is exactly what we talk about. So,
but you know what, Chris? This is exactly what the photography and the videography world is like, because there's never one hard, fast rule, because it's so dependent on budget. It's so dependent on not only your initial budget, but then how much you want to then invest going forward, because it is all the things that you need to throw in there if you want to invest in new lenses and all that kind of stuff. So it's just it's frustrating. To answer the question that we're putting here, the best kit to get you started in videography right now, 2021. It is to contradict myself. Yeah, it would be Sony crop, and it probably be A6300, because I've seen the stuff that you're still creating. I know you've got much newer cameras, but I've seen the stuff that you're creating with the A6300 even now, and it's
I've got the A6300, the 6400, the 6500. And quite often I pick the A6300 mainly because it doesn't have a touchscreen. Because I am always knocking the touchscreen when I've got it on a gimbal. And then it tries to touch to focus and it just does my head in. Whereas I know the 6300 is going to focus every time. We've got some comments. Should we address some?
I just want to make the point where you're talking about touch to focus there. I was so used to, I used the 70D, and I got an 80D when I was working for in a house, and I was so used to the touch to focus and the dual pixel autofocus of the Canon, which up to that point was the best autofocus I'd ever seen, and the touch to focus and the tracking was fantastic. When I first got to the A7 III, which was a huge step up from the Canon crop body, I couldn't get the touch to focus to work. So and very soon after I got that, I was using it professionally. I didn't have the time, and I know you should, but I didn't have the time to spend just to explore the camera. So I've got totally unused to, if that's a word. I just don't use touch focus, and I wish I could. I just don't have the time.
Oh, I don't. I can't stand it. I forget I've got it, and when I remember I've got it, it's because of an accident I've done.
Speaking of focus, does the A6300 have focus peaking?
Yeah.
Well, then that's the one you go for, isn't it? Because it doesn't matter how rubbish the lens is that you can afford to go with it. If you switch it into manual, you're laughing. You're there away, aren't you?
Yeah. The only thing I would say, let me address a comment quickly.
Okay.
So Chris Buck says, I think all the question we want answered is my video finished exporting. So I've been shooting a video with Chris today. Chris Buck, if you don't know him, by the way, he's the Chris that I thanked earlier in the stream for getting me over that 10,000 subscriber mark. So go and check out his channel. You're going to get 10 people look at your channel if everyone goes and looks at it, mate. So cracking. I was shooting a video with him.
Does Chris have?
Oh, not very many. Just 130,000.
Come back when you've got I've got 4,000 subscribers.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the comment, Chris. But talking of Chris, I was shooting a video with him today, and we were out by a river, and I was just doing a really quick and dirty handheld shot for a little social media video they want. And I was using the Sony A7R II, and the focus peaking, I was using it in manual focus because it was one shot, it was handheld, and I was using it in manual focus. And the focus peaking is good, but the screen sucks.
Yeah.
So the screen is not bright enough to be able to see. If you're in a bright environment, focus peaking is better than not having it. But it's not a good screen. None of the Sonys have good screens. Maybe the A7S III does, but everything below that, it's a struggle. Use the EVF. Chris, your video is on 89%. I just checked. There you go, mate.
That is a long render.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
know it's taken
really long
4
one.
hours, but it's still going. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Should we address some of the other comments? So we've had Citizen Girl, we've had a couple of comments. You can address those. I ended up
buying the A5100 new because it was only 50 quid. Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, the minute that you've got that little minutiae of difference, you might as well, because you get the warranty anyway. I own the A7 III, same here, which is the main cam. Also, photography YouTubers promote 6300 to people starting out, hence high prices. Yeah, absolutely. The problem is that the minute that you do suggest something, obviously we're suggesting it to our currently 11 viewers, but it does drive up prices. I think, was it Caleb who was talking about vintage lenses quite recently, and before he mentioned it, you could get a decent Russian vintage lens for pennies, and now they're a fortune on eBay. You got a few as well, I know you did.
yeah, I've always had a few. Yeah,
but they're a fortune now, which is, it's very, very. Sorry, I've just had a WhatsApp from Emma Bowell. She said I look really good on live stream.
Oh yeah, you do. Sexy.
Do we need to talk, you and I?
No, it's okay. We've had evening all.
That's
Emma. Hello,
yeah.
Emma. You guys are doing great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's not just like us pretending that we've got a commenter and using the same account over and over again.
Could you see me typing when I wrote that? I was struggling.
Girl, I appreciate all your comments. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Here we go. Got another one. Oh, John Coventry's back.
That's my stepfather. Talk of driving distances to pick up stuff reminds me of driving to Knutsford Services to hand over an Amazonian blowpipe with curare tipped arrows to someone I'd sold it to on eBay. Do you know what curare is?
No idea.
It's in the Amazonian rainforest, and tribal people. Slightly racist, not too sure, but they have this thing called curare, and what it does is the minute it enters the bloodstream, it's a relaxant. So they would tip their arrows with curare and then fire them at monkeys to get them out of the tree, and it would paralyze them instantly. Why my stepfather had an Amazonian blob? This man has traveled the world. Seriously, second in the Brain Mentor this year, absolute legend. But yeah, can't do a thing. He will quote you the kings and queens of England while he shows you his Amazonian blowpipe, and that is not a euphemism. Next comment. It's all my family, isn't it?
It's your mum now.
It's Sharon Osborne. Hi, chat. It's a bit of a random question.
I feel really bad about that.
You're looking great on my phone on Cav's laptop, but very fuzzy on picture on TV screen. Is it our telly? No, mother. It's your Wi-Fi. You need to pay more than £5 a month to PlusNet to get a decent thing. The reason why it looks okay on a laptop and a phone is because it's a much smaller screen. Thank you. Next.
Rob Harry, listening to this whilst messing around on Photoshop. Every time I load up the video, Adam just reminds me of Carl Pilkington from Idiot Abroad. Yes, you do. Rob Harry, what a legend. I like Rob. He's a very nice chap.
I am familiar with Photoshop. You see this stylus? It's going somewhere. If you
look at that Carl Pilkington head.
Do you know what? I've done quite a bit for the greater good, the Pinter that I told you about, the fresh brewing at home, and I posted a photo with my latest brew a few months back, and someone said, "Oh my God, is Carl Pilkington with Pinter?" And I didn't sleep that night.
Oh, I think it's a compliment. I love Carl Pilkington.
Bullshit! I want to get a thing. Yeah. Hey, Dallop.
Dallop, you're the first person. You commented on the stream before it was live, and we both noticed. Yeah, we were very impressed. So thank you very much, and hello. Chris Buck again. If only he'd bought a Mac. Not going to buy one of them ever again. I like my Windows machine. Although I did nearly buy a Mac Mini this evening, but we'll gloss over that. Could you just say, all right?
All right.
All right. All right.
If you give me context, is he talking about
I don't know what the context is. I do say all right a lot, but not on my YouTube channel. I say it to babies and children mostly.
You say babies. You say it to Carl Pilkington every time we get on a beer Zoom.
Yeah. Me? I'm glad you guys noticed. Right. Should we get back on topic? We've addressed all of our comments, I think. Thank you, everybody, for commenting.
Okay, so camera.
Have you all here?
Let's say we've got 500 quid. We've managed to get an 6300 with at least a kit lens for 500 quid. That seems quite feasible.
Yeah.
Next.
What would you buy next?
Mic.
Well, okay.
Well, it depends. Actually, no, you're right. You're right to go, okay, and not agree. Because in all honesty, a lot of promo videos that you can do don't actually have any audio in it. It's all just B-roll for a company or business, whatever that.
I know what I'd buy. Like a lot of people who are looking to get into this industry, who are looking to get a camera, think I'm going to buy the absolute best camera I can get for the money, because that's going to be where the biggest difference is. And the reason I still use 4-year-old cameras or 5-year-old cameras is because that isn't where the biggest difference is. It's the lens,
the glass.
So you saying yes, we could get a kit lens with the camera for 500 quid, totally feasible. But would I use the kit lens? Probably not.
You're going for a 51.8, aren't you?
I would probably go for a 51.8, yeah.
You gotta get a nifty 50. Completely agree.
Yeah. So 50mm 1.8. I might have one somewhere.
I know I've mentioned it to you before. Did I mention the whole drum kit thing last stream?
No.
The thing is, I started life as a drummer, and my mum bought me.
You did. You told me this off stream, so yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that kind of comes down to it, isn't it? I was told, if this drum kit, it's not amazing, but if you can make that sing, imagine what you can do with a decent one. Same with the camera. You set yourself up, you get your technique, and imagine what you can do once all of a sudden you've got something with iBase and you get yourself a gimbal and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, 51.8 to go with that. So how much is a 51.8 for a Sony crop body?
Wow, I've got a bit of a story about a 51.8 that I bought for a crop body.
Should I get my fireside?
Sorry?
Like a fireside chat? Do I need to get really comfortable?
No, it won't be long.
Okay.
So this is actually a full frame 50mm 1.8. I own so many 50mm lenses, it's not even funny. Every time I see one going cheap, I buy it because it's the best focal length for a camera. And if you're really hard up on money, there you go. That's the exact same lens, isn't it?
Yeah, 1.8.
Yeah. If you're sorry, I don't know whether you can hear my dog barking. She's going mental. But if you're really hard up on money, then get yourself an adapter for your camera and get an old vintage 50mm 1.8. And the best place to buy them, this is my little secret, and this is going to be like Caleb's thing where he told you to go and buy vintage Russian lenses.
Hold on, can you just tell me off stream first, then I can go and buy one before you say it?
You won't get there in time.
Okay.
Charity shops. They're an absolute gold mine for vintage cameras. So if you're looking for a 50mm 1.8 and you don't have 150 quid to go and buy one, go to a charity shop. I bought a 50mm 1.4 and an Olympus camera thrown in for free for £5.
Did you ask them for a receipt so you could claim it back on tax?
Don't think so. Should have done. But
the
other story.
Sorry, are you saying charity shops over like secondhand hand shops like CEX?
Oh, hell yeah. Because secondhand places like CEX know how much something's worth. And it's probably taken advantage of the charity shop a little bit. But if you're really skint and you're looking for a bargain, they're a great place to start. And I could walk into any town, well, any city in the country and pick up a 50mm 1.8 for less than a tenner.
Wow. That's a great tip.
100%. Yeah. But if you do have 150 quid to spend, I'd recommend shopping around. And if you're after a Sony APS-C 50mm 1.8 specifically, traipse around the Currys and PC worlds of the world. Because I went into one last year, or it might have been a year before, and I saw that the 50mm 1.8 was on sale for £94. It's usually 140 odd. And then I took it to the till, and the guy said, "Oh, we've only got an open box one." And I was like, "That's fine. I don't mind about that." He said, "I'll give you another 20% off." So I paid like under 80 quid
Jeez.
for a 50mm 1.8. And
That's
I've been in Curry's PC World since, and I've bought another one. So they are always on offer because people don't think to go and buy a 50mm 1.8 from a Curry's PC World.
Yeah, that's a good point. That actually, that's a really, really nice tip. So from our budget, the 51.8, what we putting down that for? Let's say 100.
Yeah, you could easily get one for 90, 95 on eBay, something like that.
So we've now had 600 out of your 1,500 budget. So you've now got £900 left.
Yeah. See, I know what I'd buy. But we've had a comment from Dallop. I think that's how you say your name. So what kind of lighting would you pair with your new A6300? And I'm going to start Adam off here because Adam's going to answer this one. But I think it really depends on what you're trying to film.
Yes.
Over to you, Adam.
The thing is, with it being a crop body,
that's me. That's me.
Right. Thing is, with it being a crop body, there is something to say with regards to how well it deals with low light compared to a full frame, but you're still going to need light generally. So what I would say is definitely some kind of continuous lighting. Now, I'm just gonna punch out actually and say you could go. Hey Google, set cave lights to bright white. You could go for the VL150. You're looking at my bald head now, aren't you? Yeah. Definitely Carl Pilkington. You could go for the VL150, which is a great light. However, you're talking about 250, 300 kit for that. He says, kicking it away. But what I would highly recommend would be the ML60. And there's a reason why. I just want to get this a little bit prettier, if that's okay, because, you know, I've got things to think. So this is the ML60. It's made by Godox. I did a review on it. If you haven't seen it, have a look on my channel. That
is tiny. I didn't realize how small that was.
Seriously, I've heard that before. This is a 60-watt lens, but it's a 60-watt lens that actually packs more of a punch than you think of a 60-watt lens. And very quickly, it's a Bowens mount, but it's actually a smaller Bowens mount. But in my review, I did mention that you can get an adapter to actually step it up. So over there is a full-size Bowens mount modifier, and I can get it on there with just a really cheap adapter. And the cheap adapter is actually made by Neewer, and it's like 20 quid. It's stupid. But the beauty of this, Christoph, is when you actually put it on the right way around, you know yourself, with most lighting, you've got to get it either on a stand and in mains power, because you just have to, because they're not built for being mobile. But this little guy, honestly, I can't recommend it highly enough. That goes in there. You've got Sony MPF batteries on there. Little lead goes onto here. And it is the best, and I mean the best flashlight you've ever got. You can also get a longer lead, which comes with it. And you put that, you just trigger it off, and you can put that on your belt for a better center of gravity. I know I didn't say I was going to do this whole thing in the live stream. I only just decided when I started talking.
Can you turn it on for us? Can you show us how bright it is? Because Dallop said only 60 watts. That's amazing. I want to show how bright it is.
It's stupid bright. Okay.
Let me just whilst you do that.
Yeah, take me off.
Yeah. So I'll talk to you about the light that I would recommend. So that's great for Adam. I love that it's battery powered. But if you're going to be in an environment like this, then I'd go for the SL60W. I can grab one of those, but I'll be off screen. Let's watch Adam fumble whilst I get a light.
What a really good idea. So in this actual case, it comes with two lengths. It comes with one really short one, while the actual battery holder is here. And then you've got your mic still live.
I'm back.
A longer one, which, thank you, as you were.
Oh, I've done something wrong. This is going well. Oh, I did it again. Right. So this is the SL60W. It's very similar to what Adam showed you, but this is not battery powered. This is mains powered. It takes a little. Is it going to focus? Let me get my face out of the way, and it might focus. There you go. It takes a kettle lead. This light you can get with a really good softbox for like under £100. I've seen it for under £100 a couple of times, and that's actually the light that is lighting me up at the moment. I've got 2 of these. They're amazing. They're amazing value. They're very much comparable to the Aperture 120D, which is like a £600 light, and they're just really, really cool and really bright. And I think Adam might be nearly ready to show us. Yeah, he is ready. Let's show.
Okay,
I mean, he's lighting up some, it looks like screws or something. But just like, point it at the camera, Adam. Show us how much light we've got.
That is 1%. Let me just kill I've got a GVM thing behind there, LED. So this, hey Google, turn off cave lights. So this is 1%.
Right.
That's 10%. That's 50%. It's got a little kickstand as well, which is absolutely fantastic. But that is 50%. I'm at f2.2 on the actual thing. That's almost already overexposed.
Yeah. What's that on? Sorry, 50%. Yeah.
50%. And the great thing is you can turn off the fan in this. The fan only kicks in after 50%. So if you set it with no fan, you can't physically get past 50%. However, if we take it past 50% and everyone go really quiet, I can't see a bloody thing right now. I'm blinded. Now the fan's kicked in. Listen.
I mean, I can't hear anything. I don't know about the audience watching at home, but I can't hear
it. I'm turning it right up now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can hear that. Yeah.
That's with the mic at full. Absolutely. I absolutely love it.
You want to turn your game back up a little bit, mate? You've gone a bit quiet.
Apologies. As I said, it says 60 watt. Oh my God. I tell you what, it's the strongest 60 watt I've ever had.
Yeah.
Take me off. I'll reset.
Okay. So you generally find that LED cob lights that are made for videography or kind of photography as well, if you want to use them for that, are just ridiculously bright. And we've had a comment from Citizen Girl again. The Amran 100D series are new and are hard to get, so they've overpriced on eBay. I was lucky and got mine from an AV seller. That's not the comment. That's the comment I meant to put up. You should try the Amran 100D. I really, really like the look of it. And it is like the SL60 killer because it's cheap, really affordable, and is going to outperform something like the SL60W. So Citizen Girl, I 100% agree with you. Let's see what other comments we've got. Chris, can we get your YouTube link? Yes, I popped it in on a banner. There it is. There you go. So that's my YouTube link if you want to go and subscribe. Thank you very much if you decide to. My mum has said, "Hey, Baba." That's not patronizing at all. Thanks, Mum.
Do you know what? How funny is that? That's what it's not really that funny. My mother calls me Baba as well. Baba Adam.
It's great when you're streaming to lots of people and trying to come across quite professional and your mum calls you Baba.
Hey,
thanks, Mum. Thanks for watching anyway, Mum. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Baba, most importantly, how are you?
Yeah, how are you, Mum? Okay, so, oh, wow, that looks really cool. Would you use that more of a desk setup?
Sorry, go on.
I mean, any kind of interview setup is they're amazing. They just make any interview look professional.
Yeah.
And before I started YouTubing, I never owned a cob light and a softbox. I used to just use natural light as much as I could, and that's probably the cheapest alternative. Just find a window, and it'll do pretty much the same job. But yeah, they're mainly for studio setups. If you're filming anything other than that, you're going to need something more powerful, I'd say. But natural light is your friend.
To be fair, you've got to, whatever camera you get, you need to really spend the time really learning. If you've ever been skiing, you need to fall over, because you need to learn how fast you can go and what risks you can take to see how much you can do. Does that make some kind of sense? So you need to know where the image falls apart in your camera. Enjoy Carrie, even Carrie, watching Carrie. Jesus, bye, mummy. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You need to learn what you need for your camera. However, I'm shooting on the A7 III with this. Obviously, it's over a live stream, but the light I've got up here isn't a cob light. It is one of the cheapest LED panels by color from Great Video Maker, and they're not the best quality. But I tell you what, for the price of them, they're a good alternative. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, your studio looks really good. I'm so impressed with how good it looks. And it's the camera that's made the difference. The studio looked good before, but having that camera plugged in is making a huge difference. And you're using, I want to say you're using the kit lens, aren't you?
No, I'm on the Samyang 18. I'm on the Samyang 18mm.
Wait for this, everybody. This is good.
Say again. Yeah, it's the Samyang 18mm. I'm going to push my monitor back so you can see. But it's a real budget lens. I did a video in my channel about it. But it's so sharp for itself, and the barrel distortion isn't too bad. With the A7 III, you can do what's called Super 35 mode, which is effectively crop in, punch in without any loss of quality to the size of a crop lens, a crop body. So that's actually what it should be.
I love that. I think that's great.
That's 18mm, but also you've got the smart zoom as well, so you can come in little bits. But yeah, I've just got it at the Super 35, which it works really well for me. But it's learning what you can do with your camera, isn't it? And learning then what light is needed for that. But I would personally say, if you can afford it, definitely go cob light over LED panels.
Yeah, me too. I bought so many cheap LED panels over the years, and I was never happy with how it looked. And I probably spent enough money to buy 5 of these setups over, and I should have just done this in the first place. But it looks intimidating, it looks expensive, and it really doesn't have to be.
And what's the most important reason why you wouldn't go for LED panels? Is it the quality of the color, regardless of bicolor, or is it the output, or is it a combination of both?
It's neither. It's the diffusion for me.
Yeah.
That's able to put a diffuser on the front of it. I mean, I can kind of show you. That's what I'm using at the minute, which is the Aperture Light Dome Mini.
Yeah.
Oops. Something's gone badly wrong.
That's
no, it's fine.
Oh,
I think I knocked the cable as I went round. But let me just show you quickly. Adam's done a little demonstration. I'm going to do a little demonstration. So without that diffuser on the softbox, talk amongst yourselves. I can't get it off. Okay. So the difference in my lighting, that's what it looks like without the softbox on. So this costs about £100. I've got another one over there, which I bought for 30 quid. It's pretty much exactly the same. There's not much difference whatsoever.
I tell you what, that makes such a difference. I don't know if you could hear me. I didn't realize if I was still coming through, but the honeycomb diffusion as well, it really helps the diffusion, because the grid stops any kind of fall off with regards to creating shadows. So it actually directs the light exactly where you want it as well. My grid lives on mine as well. It just, because you can put the light exactly where you want it then, can't you?
Yeah, those softboxes are something I wish I'd invested in earlier.
Yeah, same here.
and just never did. And I'm so glad I've got a couple now, because they're absolutely game changing. There's no point having a decent light without a decent diffuser.
Well, absolutely. For an age, all I had was one COB light, the VL150, which was sent to me for a review, and the softbox, and that's all I used. And there are so many good. You and I were talking about the Rembrandt lighting setup, which is so lovely. It's a one light setup, exactly what you're doing now, and it's lovely. You've got where's my triangle? Show me the triangle.
It's there,
right underneath his eye. Right underneath his eye.
This eye. The
other side, yeah. So what Chris is showing is exactly what you can do with just one single light. Obviously, you've got the stuff in the background, which is purely background. They're not actually giving anything onto the back of you, and it's just one light. It just has to be a quality light as well. It just has to be. So yeah, lighting is very, very important. Almost as important as your camera, I would say. I think you could get away with a cheaper camera if you had better lighting. What's up with you?
Alexa, turn off gallery. I was just showing what it looks like with no other light. That is just one light. Yeah. If you invest a little bit of money in your light and a decent softbox, you could get away with using pretty much any camera and any lens. I think that's worth mentioning. So, should we get back on point? Alexa, turn on gallery. We've spent £500 on our camera. We've spent £100 on a light, on a lens.
Yeah.
How much money are you spending on a light? I could get this set up for £100.
What, the SL60W and a softbox?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you shop around, you can find it. I've seen it on AliExpress a couple of times if you don't mind waiting for it. And I've also seen it on eBay as a package where you get the light, a light stand, and the softbox for £94.
Actually comes with a light stand.
Oh, very good.
How good is that? And a little kickstand so you can put on a desk. Love it.
Oh, lovely. So we're at £800-ish. Is there anything else you'd buy? Bearing in mind you've got the kit lens, and you've got a 50mm. What would you get next?
I'm probably gonna. You've got to go for some kind of hardware. So we're talking either monopod or tripod.
Interesting. I hadn't even thought of a tripod. That's weird how my brain goes there, isn't it?
Would you go gimbal then?
That's how little I use a tripod. I'd probably try my luck and try and get a gimbal and a monopod, because I can put a gimbal on top of a monopod. I can use a monopod in place of a tripod for most of the time. But the gimbal is where I spend most of my life using a gimbal. But saying that, we don't have a nice, fast, wide-angle lens. We've got a kit lens, which is a 16mm 3.5. It would be fine, but it's not going to blow anyone's socks off, and it won't be very good in low light. So I'd probably go for a monopod. So I'd have the 6300, a 50mm 1.8, and a monopod, and I'd feel quite happy going and shooting a wedding with that setup.
Handheld, because you've got that extra weight underneath. Even if you haven't got a gimbal, the extra weight with that monopod will help to stabilize the shots.
Definitely. So I shoot weddings when it's not COVID. I shoot weddings all the time, every weekend in the summer. And Anya, my business partner, who was listening last week, I don't know whether she's listening this week, uses a monopod with a 6300 and a 50mm on it every time, every wedding, hundreds of weddings throughout the years. And that's her go-to setup. And some of the shots she gets are stunning. Let me see if I can afford what I want.
Okay.
So we're at 800, aren't we?
And yeah,
we're 500 for the body. We were 100 for the lens.
Yeah.
And we were 100.
Yeah, you said 100. You said you could get your setup for £100, including softbox.
Yeah. So I'm at £700, aren't I? 700.
You got.
So I would buy a used Crane 2 for £250. Are you Googling, or are you checking?
No, I'm noting.
Claire just made a comment and I just saw it and I had to read it. So I'd be so 250 quid. I think I could get a used Crane 2 for. You might even be able to get them for 200 quid now. So I'm at 900 quid. So I'd find a used Manfrotto monopod for 100 quid. And then I'd also buy the Sigma 16mm 1.4 prime lens. What's he looking at now? Oh, we're looking at the Crane version 2. £209. What
That's
an absolute bargain.
Yeah, and that's from MPB. For those who don't know it, MPB is such a good place to at least start off if you're looking for prices. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna say do we want it like new, or are we gonna go good?
We're gonna have it used and battered because that's how I buy all of my stuff.
Cracking. And it's gonna get there anyway, isn't it? Okay, so
it's gonna get there. I am not precious about my kit whatsoever.
Okay,
it's there to do a job.
So your monopod is £209.
No, it's not. I'm not spending 209 quid on a
sorry, no, your Crane 2 is £209.
I would imagine if you bought a monopod brand new, it would be around 200 quid. I've bought several Manfrotto monopods because I break them all the time.
Or you leave them in a field when you're getting rid of it, and then the day later you go back to get it and you realize a combine harvester has gone through and churned it up.
Yeah, that has happened to me, and I've bought 4 of them, and I've only got 2. Let's put it like that. But I bought those 4. I bought a couple of them new, and I bought a couple of them secondhand. But you can definitely get one for about 100 quid with a video head on it. I feel like I'm rabbiting on. I feel like I'm going really quick.
That's good. You currently have £800 left.
Right, so I'd buy a Sigma 16mm 1.4.
Yeah.
Typey. I think you can get them for. I think you can get them new for 400 quid.
What's your measurement? Sigma
16mm. Sigma 16mm 1.4.
E-mount, yeah.
What we talking? 320 quid. I might buy another one of them.
Step away from MPB.
Literally the best lens I've ever bought. And it's perfect in low light. It's perfect on a gimbal. Oh, it's just a one. It's actually the lens I'm using right now. It's the lens here, right there. Look, that's the lens I'm using. So if you think, God damn it, that looks good.
What camera is that? Is that the A6300 as well?
This is an A6400, and there's a couple of reasons I use the A6400 here over the 6300, but I think that's probably for a different stream.
All right. Okay. So you got 490 quid left.
Yeah. Well, I'll go to the pub then.
Crack in. I could do with another beer, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, good. You've got all that kit for less than £1,000. Well, just over a tenner over £1,000.
Yeah. So I'd need batteries and memory cards. And you know what? If I add another 500 quid, I'd probably try and find a Mac to edit it on.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
And then you are golden. You're in this day and age with the climate as it is, you're not going to find a very high spec PC for 500 quid. But if you bought, I mean, you can get a new Mac Mini for 600 quid. So if we went 100 quid over budget, absolute bargain, because they are monsters of machines.
No, absolutely. And to be honest with you, it really is. There's a big thing in the photo and video world, and it's called GAS, G-A-S, and it's gear acquisition syndrome. And I think, to be honest with you, to a certain extent, our Chris does suffer from it. To a certain extent, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Just own it.
No, I do. No, but wait. What do you mean? Give me an example.
You have money burning a hole in your pocket, and you think, "Oh, I want to get this. I want to get that." You don't necessarily need it, but you want it. And it's
but I think I save money in. I don't think I've ever bought a piece of equipment new, ever.
Yeah, but the thing is, just
money I save, I make my money go a really long way because I'm always buying secondhand, and I'm always wheeling and dealing.
But if you're buying something that's worth 700 quid and you get it for £500, you've not saved £200. You've spent £500.
I don't agree. Okay, we've had a question. We've had a comment from Rob Harry. M1 Mac Minis are epic. Yeah, I know. Talking about spending money, I'm really keen to talk to you, Rob, about maybe getting one of the new iPad M1s. Rob works for O2, and I've known him for years, and he always gets me really good deals. And he's also said, what software would you edit on? So if you've blown your whole 1,500 quid, what are you going to do? Are you going to buy a subscription to Premiere, or are you going to look for something else? Say you bought a Mac, what are you going to do?
Well, this is the thing. If you don't want to, if you don't want to buy and you've got a Mac, you've got more options than if you only have a PC, and that's purely because of Final Cut. Can you get a free version?
Final Cut's 200 quid, I think.
Exactly. But there's the options. But what I would personally do, if I was starting out, I would go, if I couldn't afford any editing software, if my budget was blown, I would probably download the free version of DaVinci and do it in there. It's not my NLE of choice. I'm Premiere. Having come through.
What did you say? It's not your what of choice?
NLE of choice.
Which is what?
Non-linear editor.
Right, okay. Just for the viewers. I know what you mean, but I don't know. I never heard that expression.
If it's not your editing thing of choice, I came through from Windows Movie Maker, which I made once a tutorial of it, and I think it's had hundreds of views, and I think it's all my own stepfather who's watched them all. And then I came through Sony Vegas, hooky version of that, and then Premiere Pro, which we pay for the whole suite. But if I didn't have any money, I'd make it work for myself in DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah. So when I was starting out, I used Final Cut Pro because I was on a Mac, and then when I changed to PC, I bought Premiere, and I've dabbled, but like DaVinci Resolve wasn't around then. DaVinci, I mean, it was around, but it wasn't free. It was very, very expensive, if I remember correctly. But DaVinci Resolve now, was it? DaVinci Resolve now, the free version, Rob, I'm talking to you specifically because I know probably what you want to do with it, is there's a free version of it. The studio version is not worth the money, in my opinion. But I've dabbled with DaVinci Resolve, and it's very good. It's almost like a cross between Premiere and Final Cut Pro. So if you've used either of them, then you can kind of fumble your way through with DaVinci Resolve. It's a massive program, and it is very, very, very capable. But it has its flaws. So if you're looking for something that you can use long term and get to used to and get to love, like I love Premiere now. Yeah. I used DaVinci Resolve for about 6 months when I had a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and I fought with it the whole time I had it. I fought my way through each project, and with Premiere, I just love creating everything I make. So Premiere will cost you money, but in my opinion, it is still a bit better. And I have a license for Resolve Studio. Not worth the money if you're just starting out. So go for the free one if that's the route you go down.
Little tip with regards to Adobe: if you do have a little bit of money, search for promo codes, because at certain times of the year you get really decent reductions for a 12-month subscription with Adobe. Secondly, once you then get to the end of that 12-month subscription and you get an email saying, oh, the money's going to go up, you just get in contact with them either on chat or on phone and say, I can't afford this to go up. They'll say, no problem. I've done it 3 years in a row. And they don't lose you. What's that?
I've done it once as well.
Yeah, they don't want you to go anywhere else. They know that DaVinci is out there, so they'd prefer to have the 60% from you than 100% of nothing if you move over. So yeah, find your deals, because it's not just on hardware that there are deals. There are big deals on software as well.
Okay. We've just had another comment from Rob. I have Premiere from the CC sub. Just find it a struggle after not using it for 10 years since uni. Yeah, I can totally get that. Maybe what me and Adam should do one of these streams is go through Premiere step by step, because I know that I know stuff that Adam doesn't know, but Adam knows more stuff than I don't know, which blows my mind. Like usually when I'm meeting up with somebody, and this is why I like hanging out with Adam, is that I'm usually the most knowledgeable person about video editing and Premiere, and Adam just comes in and says, why are you doing it like that? And I love that. So maybe we could share our top 10 tips for Premiere or something.
That'd be nice. It was the little things like you didn't know that the tilde key did anything in Premiere Pro.
No, God, and it's changed my life. So yeah, maybe we'll do that for you.
Color mats and all that kind of stuff, because not only Premiere Pro, I do After Effects as well. So I bring a lot of my After Effects knowledge into Premiere Pro, which actually there are little workarounds within Premiere Pro. You don't have to jump off to After Effects through Dynamic Link, but it's yeah. It's nice of you to say that, because I always think you know more than me, which
maybe we could do a lesson as well. Maybe we could do a live stream where you're teaching me how to use After Effects, because I haven't got a clue. So
yeah, okay.
With that, I think we should probably wrap it up, because we've gone over an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah,
we haven't really structured this like we did last week, but I've really enjoyed this, and this is exactly what this stream should be. It should be me and you chatting about shit.
yeah.
We enjoy talking about.
That's going to ruin the monetization. Listen,
never mind.
For those of you in the comments, let us know. If you watched last week, you watch this week, let us know. We won't be offended. You'll just be dead to us. The tilde thing has now tricked us. Nice. You're very, very welcome. All right. But yeah, let us know in the description, because we had this all set up for 3 topics, just like we did last year. Wow, it wasn't that long. But this has felt like it's flown quite well. Let us know if it's been anywhere near as interesting or less interesting or whatever. Next week we only have 1 topic, actually, so maybe we were looking ahead at how we were going to be, because we only have 1 topic, so that might work well better for us. But it's been nice.
Yeah, been really good.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed myself. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Oh, we have got 1 more comment.
Oh,
great stuff, guys. See you again next week. Thanks, John. He's our biggest fan.
He is. He absolutely is. And between now and then, he'll probably watch my awful tutorial about Windows Movie Maker about another 10 times, so he can make good PowerPoints. Chris, brilliant. As always, a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, lovely to see you, mate. And see you again next Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Oh, before we go, links to everything we've talked about are going to be in the description, or are we not going to put them in the description?
Yeah, do you know what? If you are interested, if you're watching this on playback, or you're interested in exactly what we were saying, you weren't necessarily taking notes, we'll chuck some links down below. What I would like to say, and I already cleared this with Chris before we came on, if you're in a position to be able to support your local camera store, your local independent camera store, go and speak to them. If they don't have it in stock, they may be able to find one. Give them the chance first, if you've got the budget and if you've got the ability to do that. If not, and you're looking to order it online, within the next 24 to 48 hours, we will have affiliate links below the descriptions, and you can support your friendly neighborhood live stream, who are currently on episode 2, just out. But yeah, if you can support your local independent camera store, especially in these times, please do. I felt like I had my soapbox then.
Yeah.
Mate, it's been a pleasure.
Bye, everyone.
See you later, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday at 7:30. Keep an eye out for what's coming up next week.